Hello again. This is my episode number 2 here, I guess. My name is Chris. I have PTSD. It fucking sucks. So I'm going to go over a little bit about the different symptoms through each of these segments. The first one I'm going to start with is hypervigilance. So what hypervigilance is, it's generally a symptom that people with PTSD will have where their body is constantly in a heightened state of awareness. It's basically being on high alert all the time. So you're walking into a crowd, you're looking behind you all the time. It's loud noises, anything could be a trigger in the environment. You basically perceive everything around you to be unsafe, even though it could be the safest place in the world. But you're always in that state. To maybe give you a better example of how that would feel, imagine, you're driving along. I'm sure we've all been there, driving along. The person in front of you slams on the brakes. Second, you white knuckle it, slam on the brakes too. And then it's that feeling, right when you don't hit them, hopefully not, your heart racing, you're like, ah. That's what it's like to have PTSD. That's a hypervigilance part of it. And that's all day long. That's not just, momently. You feel that all day long. That becomes, is another part of hypervigilance where someone can approach me, ask me a question, or I'll perceive it as them, and that's unfortunate. But it makes me really weary of relationships with others, so I tend to isolate because of that, being a threat. And it could be saying hi, and I'll be like, what? And it's just, my body goes to that right away, and that's not, I don't like living that way. Not a lot of, it's not a comfortable way to awareness all the time. Sleeping can be extremely difficult, even trying to get to relax, because sometimes you get those sudden panic attacks that just come out of nowhere. Your heart rate goes up, you start sweating. For me, my heart rate just goes up, and I'm like boom, 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 and I could be trying to relax, getting my chi on for the day, and find my happy spot, if fucking there is one, to try and relax. Tonight, if I'm lucky, I never sleep a full night. I have not had a full night of sleep, and I can't tell you how long. Just because I wake up all the time, either do nightmares or, just my body's still in a heightened state of awareness even when I sleep. When I find my body at, I guess what would be called the rest, is when I tend to be in more, I don't want to say dangerous situations, but when I'm out in the woods alone, I'm on a motorcycle. Lots of things could happen, and they have, but it amazes me how I tend to remain calm in those situations where, old me would have been like, oh, freaking out. And that's also a place where I feel probably the most vulnerable because I'm completely alone. But it's that isolation that makes me feel safe. Now, isolation is not a good thing for anybody. I always tell myself, I always tell people I'm a loner. I always have been, blah, blah, blah. But I realized, as I learn more about myself, why I've fortunately had the opportunity to see some very, very beautiful places. And, those are memories those are the things that I remember because some of those things happened before, places I got to see happened before my trauma, but those, like when I'm doing my therapy, they tell me what a happy place. That's where I go. Could be walking a trail at Yosemite or sitting in the desert down by Joshua Tree, just fucking awesome. But it's that peace, the peacefulness of nature that helps me to heal. Just listening to what's going on around me in a place where I can kind of control what's around me, and I think that's what it is. It's about having control of what's around you because being powerless over everything else sucks. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video and let me share my experiences. If you like, please subscribe and hit the like button on the bottom. Thank you.